We're good.
All right, guys, back again, episode 20. We have a very special guest. We could call him our friend now since it's the second time on. We
That's
have
right.
heavyweight now, top 10 ranked in the world in the heavyweight division, the UFC, Chris Daukaus. Chris, thanks again for joining us.
Of course, guys. Thanks for having me on as always. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, first, congratulations on a awesome win. I know I was rocking the
Thank you.
fight shirt and all, and I was hype
Thank you.
watching it. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It was
Appreciate it.
it was the first ever fight card I got to watch in the podcast room that we built here, and I have all the
Very
TVs
nice.
set up and stuff like that. And I recorded myself, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs at Herb Dean after 27 consecutive punches landed.
Yeah, right. Like even I was like, come on, like what's up,
Yeah.
man? But that's why that's not my job. So I really don't care.
That's awesome.
So my first question I have, I mean, I know I was able to visit you at a camp and all, but
Yep.
did you do anything different for this camp at all, or was it the same old?
Same old, same old. Realistically, like the past, I'm gonna say like 5 to 7 fights. We've game planned for people trying to take me down, people trying to hold me up against cage. So it's just another camp for us. I don't know like what's next as far as like, when the next fight is or anything like that. I'm really not focused on that. I'm just focused on, getting my brother ready with his camp and his fight coming up. So if something does change to where I have to, change up my camps for, like a striker or something like that, it'll definitely be interesting to see how the camp unfolds.
Of course. All right. And then what was your game plan heading into the fights? So obviously we haven't talked to you in a while, so like we didn't ask that question, but like what was your game plan heading in?
It was realistically just to be faster than them, to stay off the cage, stay off off my back, and just let my hands go. And as you could tell, it worked out. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
When he had a hold of your legs, I was like, oh shit. No,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you were
yeah.
able to brush them off. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely weren't the only one. When he locked my arm up and then he ended up, pulling guard a little bit and was on the single leg. I was a little nervous, but I was okay with it. And then worked off that single leg and just kept it standing, so it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he got like a hold of you, it was almost like what he was doing to Derek Lewis in his fight, like grabbing your head almost. It looked like, and then he looked like he was trying to maybe go for like a Kimura or Americana or something.
Yeah. He had he had my left arm, so he had the overhook, and then what you really couldn't see because our bodies were in the way. He had the overhook, and when he had the overhook, he was grabbing my wrist, and then he was locking his own wrist up. So I really couldn't get my arm out, so I had to peel off his hands, and that was definitely the most nervous I was in that whole exchange, was because he's definitely got a grip on him. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How strong was he as a grappler?
He's definitely very strong as an individual. But I train with guys who not to they're definitely stronger than him, but he's definitely one of the stronger human beings I've ever grappled with. But he's definitely not the top guy I've grappled with who's the strongest person ever. So
Okay.
Yeah. And then I know you touched up on it earlier when we first started. Were you happy with the stoppage? Because I thought like after the first knee to the face, I thought that he was done. But
yeah, definitely. I'm just glad to get the stoppage. If I'm critiquing it at all, I mean, I don't want to critique the ref because obviously that's not my job. That's not
Right.
what I get paid for. So that's not my place to say. But I've seen a lot of people online, a lot of people that I respect that are in the MMA game. Like Patrick Cote was even saying that the fight should have been stopped, 10 to 15 seconds, before it actually was. And I agree. And there was a point in time where I'm hitting him, and you'll see when I think it was the knee, and then I hit him. The second knee I hit him with, and then I hit him with a couple punches, and he kind of slumped over to the side, and his hand was up, and then it dropped a little bit, and I unloaded like 4 to 6 clean, hard shots. And I was like, this is definitely it. And even then it wasn't. So I was a little, apprehensive as like, should I keep pouring it on, or should I like back up and, try and get like a cleaner knockout? So I'm just glad that it ended the way that it did. And I'm glad that I didn't cause too much unwanted damage to Alexei.
Of course. Okay. I got 2 more questions, and then I gotta head out to my doctors. So my first one is
Just leaving early.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Top 10 in the world. Top 10 in the world. Thanks, Chris. See you later, bro.
Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. I got it, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So has this win sunk in yet? Because like I know, like after the stoppage, you get all the reporters and stuff, and then like you probably need like, and then you got the flight out and stuff. But has it finally sunk in? How big this win was?
Last night it started to settle in a little bit about how, who I beat and everything like that. So it's a little crazy to think about. I just beat Alexei Olenek. I never would have thought I could say that, to be honest with you. But it's definitely something that it has hit home, and it's definitely cool to be able to say that I'm now the number 10 ranked guy in the world. So it's great. Yeah,
and also with this ranking, you're also gonna have a lot more people claiming you now in the city. Like it was like, ever since you said that, I laughed when I saw the one tweet. So like I typed your name in a Twitter search, and then someone wrote, yeah, he works with my cousin down at the 24th district. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah, listen, man, people can claim me all they want. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not gonna, there's nothing I could do about it, so I just have to accept it. But like, I know who has been there since the beginning, and I know who has since jumped on the bandwagon since then. But wagon's full, so I really don't care. So like, like it is what it is. So
yep. And then so my last fun question I have for you. So obviously me and you love to eat, being bigger guys. But what was your first like meal after not dieting?
Well, first meal was I had like the Uber Eats or like Grubhub some like shitty pizza and wings in Vegas. It hit the spot for like the moment, but once I got home, my wife had Cafe Carmela pizza, which was awesome, and then she had Burns wings, and it was phenomenal. So yeah, it was great. It was gone within 20 minutes. If they had like a whole pie and like 25 wings, so yeah. So it's definitely good. Love
All right, cool. Yeah. I know we were talking prior about going to Steve's and all, but like I'm not sure if we're able to eat at Steve's, but if you wanted to switch to Cafe Carmela, we would be down. I mean,
I'm down.
I haven't had it yet, and I'm sure that Nick hasn't tried it yet.
It's awesome. It's definitely like I said before, it's definitely top 3 cheesesteaks that I've ever had. Steve's and them are definitely at the top. So yeah, I mean, we'll figure out a day whenever we can. I'm night work this week, so hopefully, we could do it on the weekend or something like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool, perfect. All right, boys. I hate to leave you early, but I got to get ready for the appointment. So
Chris, must be nice. Must be nice, dude. Must be nice. Just come in and go in as you please. Must be nice.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. But Chris, thank you again, and of course, we are fans for life. So thank you again for joining.
Appreciate it. Of course, thank you, man.
I'll see you guys.
All right, Joe. Later, see you. You're banned, dude. You're out. It's called the Nick Fight Talk podcast now.
Yeah.
All right, brother. So Chris, I wanted to get into I know we were talking before we started recording about your plane ride into Vegas.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. How the
I absolutely hate it. Like we were saying before the podcast started, I hate flying. I absolutely hate flying. So I got a layover in Denver, Philly to Denver, Denver to Vegas. The flight from Philly to Denver wasn't that bad. The flight from Denver to Vegas was horrible. My brother's gonna give me shit because he's like, my brother hates flying too. And as we're coming into Vegas, I get like woken up by the plane like dipping and diving and all that. And it's like they had like 30-mile-an-hour winds in Vegas, which it isn't crazy because the way Vegas is, it's in between like 2 mountain ranges, so you have to expect that. But dude, it was horrible. My hands were sweating. And like as we're landing, like I was saying, as we're landing, instead of landing like this and then touching down, we were like landing like this. Yeah. And then at the last second, like the pilot like touches down and just like cuts it. I grabbed like the front of the seat in front of me. I was like, this better not. I said, oh my, I look over, my coach is like grabbing the front of the seat. My brother was just like hanging out, like sleeping. I was like, this fucking dude. But dude, I hate flying. If I could somehow get to Vegas a quicker way and like like driving or whatever, I would absolutely do that. But flying is the quickest and most efficient way to do it. So
Yeah. So I wanted to get into a little bit. I was watching the pre-fight, media scrums and stuff like that. I felt like, a couple of the reporters hit on, the actual fight, what's your game plan? What do you think he's going to do? All that stuff. But they talked a lot about you being a police officer and like a lot of stuff going on in the world today. Is that like kind of frustrating to you when, or do you kind of expect it during fight week?
No, I at this point, they'll do what they have to do as far as getting the fight questions in. And then kind of like when it whips back around to them, that's what they want to be, they want to know what exactly it is to be a police officer and, like working while still actively fighting at like the highest level. So it's a good change of pace, I just don't know what they want me to say. Like it's kind of like, it's kind of weird as far as explaining everything like with what I do going through like my day-to-day job. But it's something that if it's going to shed light on our career and the police department and law enforcement as a whole, I'll gladly do it. So it doesn't matter to me. I'll if I could help out just a little bit, by all means, I'll certainly do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you never seem to get like frustrated by questions. You just answer it right away.
It's because it's something that you might think they're stupid questions, or other people might think they're stupid questions, or I've been asked and answered that question 30 times already. But it's something that, as being a police officer, you're used to, as far as people asking you the same question over and over again, or people bringing certain things up and you just having to deal with it. It's just what we deal with on a daily basis that people really don't realize it.
Right. So I want to get into there was, I believe, 2 other heavyweight fights on your card. And I'm going to say my opinion about what Tom Aspinall said after the fight, and then you can tell yours.
Okay. Tom Aspinall, I actually didn't even hear what he said. So
okay. Tom Aspinall obviously had a very good performance against Andre Arlovski, and it seemed that he was kind of like maybe a little frustrated by standing with Andre, so then he shot that double leg and choked him out right away. And after the fight, he said, now this is not like a quote, but he said something along these lines: Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades, I'm not on their level yet, but I would like the winner of Alexei versus Chris. And he won it. And then obviously afterwards, when you won, he was like, yeah, I would love to fight Chris. And he said actually very good things about you. Very respectful, very low, chill, low key, stuff like that. And I disagree with the call out for 2 reasons. You guys are both young, relatively in your UFC careers, and the UFC likes to build certain people up to a certain point. And I just don't think that call out, or you can call anyone out you want, but I just don't think that fight would make absolutely no sense at this point in both your careers.
Yeah, and realistically, I'm not scared of anyone, as you can tell. So that's not like a fight I would turn away from. But like you were saying, I think that the UFC they are obviously super smart in business ventures and everything like that. I think that it would be an absolute dummy move to put us 2 together this early in our careers, especially when we're running through people like this. I'll fight them. As of right now, I would not like to fight him, strictly because I build myself up as a brand. He builds himself up as a brand. And then when we do fight, when we're, ranked, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, whatever, we're ranked to get that number 1 contender spot. That'll make both of us and the company a shit ton of money.
Right.
And I think that's realistically, that's the logical thing to do. But, if the UFC has different plans, if he's got different plans, who am I to say? Who am I to stop someone from getting beat up? So
right, exactly. And then you get into the Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades fight. Did you happen to watch that fight?
We were actually back at the hotel room eating shitty pizza and wings, and we actually we caught that fight. He's got scary power, man. He barely touches people, and it looked like he even caught him just like with the forearm and put him to sleep, and he put him to sleep. And there's something to say about dudes who could put you to sleep like that, and he's on obviously Ngannou's level, and I think that he might have more power than Ngannou. I just think Ngannou lands a little bit cleaner than him sometimes. That's why Ngannou's are so much more devastating and so much more like highlight reel. Like look what he did to Overeem. Like I think that he's right there, and that's super scary. But I think Blades got away from his game plan a little bit.
I agree 100%. Because when you go into that fight, you think, all right, Blades is going to wrestle him, to this thing, out cardio him, whatever it is to get the win. And Derek Lewis is going to be hoping for that one shot, and that's what happens.
And he's very good at landing that one shot. And he's scary because he has that power no matter what, which is kind of weird. Like no matter what time it is during the fight, he's definitely has that power, and he showed that against Volkov too. Like he finished Volkov, I think, with like 10 seconds left in their fight, it's definitely something that you always have to be mindful of and always have to be game planning for.
Yeah, for sure. So DC actually said it perfect. I think maybe he was on Helwani show or DC Helwani show yesterday, maybe or Monday, whatever it was. And he said he thinks Derek Lewis has the most power in the heavyweight division. And people are like, Francis. And he's like, listen, I understand that. But to put it in perspective, look at the way how hesitant Ngannou was fighting Derek Lewis, because he's probably terrified of that power.
Absolutely.
He respects it,
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, Ngannou's probably never been hit by someone with that kind of power, or someone even close. I think realistically, the only person who's hit Ngannou in their fights was Stipe.
Right.
And he hit him with like a clean right hand. And I don't know if that rocked him or how he felt that. And he was like, I don't want to do this anymore or what. But yeah, once you get hit by like dudes like that, you're either asleep and you're waking up with, a flashlight in your face, or you definitely know you've been hit and you're like, I definitely don't want to do this anymore. So let me get on like a leg or something. So yeah.
Right. So you cracked the top 10. That was the goal from when you lied to us on your on the last podcast, but I'll bring that up later.
I didn't lie. I omitted certain things. I couldn't. I was contractually obligated not to tell you the truth. There's a difference.
Because you said you were like, I said, what do you want after your next win? You said top 10. Then when it came out, you were fighting the top 10 guy in the world. I was like, that motherfucker.
Yep, that's it. And my wife was listening. She's like, you can't say that. You're not supposed to say that. I was like, I don't worry about it. It's all right.
Yeah. So you actually shouted her out. She kind of brings you back down to life and like makes you realize what you just did. How was it when you first seen the wife and the baby?
It was awesome. It was awesome. The baby was awesome. He was super excited to see me. I was just FaceTiming him all week. And then the wife was awesome. Big hugs, big kisses from both of them. And there's no better feeling than walking through the front door and then, jumping all over you and like hugging you and kissing you. So yeah, it's definitely something that I do cherish, and is it's very close to I don't know. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Right. What I was going to get into was I know you saw the video of your old coworker, your old sergeant, and he was like, "That's my boy in the kitchen."
Yes,
dude. I haven't laughed like that in so long, dude.
That went viral apparently. Like that's everywhere. I got sent that in a text message, and then all of a sudden, everyone's like, sent it to me on like Instagram and everything. I said, Jesus, God, that's awesome.
He was all hammered up, dude.
He's all banged up. Love that dude. That dude's insane. I love him.
That's phenomenal stuff, dude. Everyone was super excited, man. I was gonna do I did like a live thing with my neighbor Joe, and when I didn't know if you could like record the fight, because I know a couple guys were like, "Oh, I don't have ESPN Plus." I'm like, dude, it's like $7 a month. Come on, man.
just get it. Yeah. Just get Verizon, they got like a deal or something.
You're right. So I was recording myself throughout the whole entire fight, and it's like, you obviously in your mind you were nervous, but you can't let it show in the octagon when he grabbed the hold of you, because that's what he's known for. I don't know how many submission wins he has, but it has to be like 40.
No, I think he's got it's like 46 or 49 out of like his 56 or 59 victories. So he's definitely no joke, and that's it was definitely something that we were planning on, and yeah, like he locked up my arm and I went, oh, great. Okay, cool. And then he like threw his arm over top of my head and I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. And then that's when we started breaking off. So
yeah. Did you expect anything from when he grabbed your leg, or was that kind of like, all right, I can get out of this, because you've probably been in that position countless of times.
No, that we were game planning on that. If he couldn't get the fight to the ground standing like that, with his overhooks or with him going over the top of my head, he would definitely just pull guard. And we were expecting that, and he did that, and we game planned for it. So it was nothing that we weren't expecting for, that we weren't game planning for. So it was good. And then it was a little weird. He just kind of like sat there and just took a couple punches. I figured he'd be a little bit better at creating some scrambles, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I don't like being this guy to say like, oh, I think it's time for him to go, but I think it was a good time for him to be out of that top 10, top 15 range because of the opponents that he's going to be fighting.
Yeah, and it's definitely like I didn't really speak with him. He's not. I don't speak Russian, and he doesn't really speak a lot of English, so it wasn't like something that we could talk about. But like, you have to look at just his future health, like his just everything. The past couple of fights, he's taken a lot of damage, and at this level, you can't take that kind of damage for too long. And his saving grace was that he didn't take that damage until the later part of his career. So that's a good thing. I guess you could say that he hasn't been taking that damage his whole career. So, I hope that he's okay. I hope that I didn't cause any kind of like damage like that. I just hope that whatever he decides to do, that he's fully committed in everything that he does.
So I actually, funny thing, you just brought up damage. So if you rewind from your UFC debut to, your second fight and now this fight, you've taken little to no damage.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's crazy, right?
I'm knock on wood, you know what I mean? I don't know. I never want to, that's the goal,
of
right?
Course,
to get in and out as fast as possible.
In and out as fast as possible, collect as little damage as can. Inflict the most damage as I can and collect the biggest paychecks, and that's what I've been doing. So,
and 2 out of 3 fights, you've collected 50 G's on top of your salary.
Ain't no better than that, man.
Dude, it's absolutely incredible.
It's insane.
So I know you probably don't have like a time frame, and you've been a police officer for years, but you've been asked this before. Do you eventually want to be a fighter full time and get away from being a police officer?
It's definitely something that I would do. I've said this before. I've got 10 years up in July. July of this year will mark 10 years since I became a police officer. I'll have a little bit of a pension. There's no reason for me to work any less than 10 years. So I at least will be a police officer until July, and then hold on one second. Then sorry about that. Someone was calling me. And then
that's okay.
After that, I'm just hold on. All right, there we go.
People are blowing my phone.
Yeah. People are blowing my phone up. I don't know who it is. And then after July, we'll see what happens. I mean, I could walk away for a little bit. I'll take a year off. And then after that year, I can decide if I want to go back. I go back. If I don't want to go back, I just collect my pension and just put that away and just, kind of hang out and just do the whole full fighting thing. So it would be good.
Yeah, my stepdad was a little confused when you were saying that, because I think you hit on that maybe you talked about July in one of your post-fight press conferences, I think.
Yeah. So July marks the 10 years. And then, every year you have to be certified with being a police officer, like certain certifications you have to do, like case law, you have to be certified for, and then like medical stuff, you have to be certified for, like the range and different things like that you have to qualify for. So once you get those certifications for every year, they're good for pretty much one calendar year. So for whenever you do them, they're good for that. And you're legally allowed to be a police officer for that long. You just have to go through the recertifications. So I get all my certifications done, and then, I'm good for a full calendar year until I have to come back and get them. But, like I said, I can get those done, make sure I'm, covered with everything for being a police officer in that year. And then if I wanted to walk away, I could walk away. So. Oh,
nice. All right. So that gives you kind of like, it's nice that you're starting this career off great, 3 fights in, top 10 in the world. And then I know you already said your goal for the end of 2021, early 22 is to be that number 1, number 2 contender there.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal. Fight another, maybe at least one more time, maybe 3. So get a total number of 3 or 4 fights this calendar year, depending on how everything goes.
Right.
So so my brother's got his fight coming up in April. I'll take a fight, right after that. hopefully. And then, so he fights in April, could do like a May or June card. And then, depending on obviously the landscape of the division, and then just, any kind of injuries or anything like that. Hopefully, right around my birthday, like August, September, and then maybe at the end of the year, that'll be 4 fights in a year. Keep climbing that ladder, hopefully, and then early 2022 being that number 1 contender spot.
Yeah, so we have a good fight this weekend. Cyril Gane versus Rosenstrike.
Yep.
That plays a big factor in that top 10 right there.
Yes.
So nobody's really fighting for a number 1 contender spot right now.
No.
It's kind of like fighting for a number 2 contender spot. And
Derek
Lewis has kind of said it backwards. I guess he knows, right? He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He knows, and he said he wants to fight Alistair Overeem. I guess they have a little back and forth.
Yeah, they've had a little bit of a beef going on. So that might be the next fight with him. And then at the top, it's Stipe Francis, and then Dana has come out and said that the winner of that will fight John Jones. Mm-hmm. So then that just realistically, if Stipe fights Francis, doesn't take as much damage, or if he takes the minimum amount of damage, I don't know how much time he's going to want off as far as, letting himself heal, letting his head heal a little bit, because you get hit with one Francis shot, it seems like you got to take 6 to 8 months off.
Right.
So that could put a little hold into everything. I don't know if John Jones is going to want to, wait around as far as, waiting for that belt. I think that he would wait around, just, build his career, get more comfortable with the extra weight that he has put on. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, is it smart for him not to take a fight in heavyweight and to wait around for the winner of that fight?
For his career and being, considered the GOAT with going through, the light heavyweight division and then going through the heavyweight division. He could possibly take a quote unquote like a warm-up fight before the title shot. But,
this is what happens when you crack top 10.
Yeah, this is insane.
It's all good.
It's insane. I don't know whose numbers these are. Calling me, but realistically for his career, you probably wait, just because you want to say that you're the GOAT and getting the light heavyweight belt, and then going up to heavyweight and then getting the belt. So
yeah, that's I'm kind of like torn between what he wants to do or not, but the heavyweight division, man, these past couple of months we've been getting younger, and it's finally becoming, like you said, it was stagnant for a while, like these same guys over and over and over and over again, and this new breed of fighters coming in from anywhere from 27 years old to 31 years old, like yourself, and dude, you the top, it's John Jones isn't getting younger, still
no.
But
he's super dangerous, though. He's still super dangerous.
Yeah, he's still John Jones.
He's John Jones. John Jones. So
I think he can do it heavyweight. I think he can do well at heavyweight.
Yeah.
But again, at heavyweight, all you got to do is get caught with one shot.
Yeah, and that's what we don't really know. I mean, he was caught at 205, so we don't know how he's going to respond when he gets hit by some of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
Now he has put on the body mass and the size and everything like that. So we'll see how he does, taking light kicks and stuff like that, and like his clinch work and his ground game, especially with the bigger guys. And if he's on his back, we'll see how he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And then I was going to get into this weekend's fight with Gane versus Rosenstrike. How do you see that fight going? Who do you like?
Ooh, that's in my opinion, that's a toss up. You really haven't seen Gane like tested. Mm-hmm. I mean, Rosenstrike, obviously he's been through everything. He finished Alistair with like 10 seconds left in a 5-round fight, so he can go. He's got the gas tank to do to do 5 rounds. He did get put to sleep by Francis. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting matchup, especially with my division. I don't know. I don't know who wins. Realistically, to me, it's a coin flip. It's kind of whoever lands first. I think Cyril is bigger than Rosenstrike, so we'll see how he uses like the kicks and everything like that. But Rosenstrike was a former world-class kickboxer, so he's definitely going to be no slouching feet. So we'll see. This fight actually might end up going to the ground a little bit, so it'll be interesting.
Right. So Curtis Blades only drops down to number 3.
Yep.
What do you think? I mean, obviously he's going to have to take a little while off.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't, that's not smart for him. But he seems like that he's pretty smart with the way that he recovers and everything like that. And he's got a really good camp over in Denver, so it'll be. I think that he's going to be out for a little bit just to let his head heal and all that. So
right, because I forget who was saying it, but they said even when you feel like your body heals. Oh, Frankie Edgar, after he got knocked out, he said sometimes the brain just doesn't. You think you're fine, but there's only one way to see if the brain's fine is a CAT scan.
Yeah, and that's like the scary thing. Like you could be like perfectly normal, you're like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm going back to the training, and like even like with like like training, like if you shoot in on someone and they hip in, they sprawl real hard, and you like get like hit with like the hip or like their upper thigh, and like that can like still rock you. Like even if you're like, oh no, I've got like 3 months off, like you're not really healed. Like you think you're fine, but your brain's like, nah, we're not doing this, and then you're just like, all right,
we're not good. What I wanted to get into was your brother a little bit. April 10th, fighting. Yep. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to say this man's name, but
it's fine.
Undefeated.
I don't know how to say it either.
Undefeated guy.
Yeah.
I think your brother loves fighting these undefeated guys who are like really, really good records. So what do you think?
He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He's a savage. No, obviously I'm going to go with my brother. It's a tough test, but the guy's fighting up in a weight class. I don't understand. I don't understand that. He took the fight on the Contender Series at 185 pounds when he's a 170. He's fighting my brother, who's not a small 185.
Right.
Like we were just out in Vegas, and they have a scale as you go in and out. And like my brother was like, fuck it, let's just see how heavy I am. My brother's big. Like my brother's a big person. Like just physically, he's big. Like he's bigger than me. Like I
was going to say that because before you made your walk, he started doing like you guys were just like practicing like getting out of grapples and stuff like that. Situations.
He's big,
dude. Huge.
Yeah, he's big. Like people like and that was the whole thing with him getting on the Contender Series. And like Dana said, we're not going to sign him. He's too small for the weight class. He's a monster. Like he's really big. Like people are like, oh, these dudes are cutting from like 230. Yeah, my brother's like not that far off of being 230. Like get him like a weekend bender with some beer and like some pizza and cheesesteaks. He's up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I wouldn't have taken the fight if I was that dude 13-0 making my UFC debut against my brother. I wouldn't have taken that fight. But that's if he thinks that he can beat my brother, good luck, because it takes a special person to beat that dude. So
yeah, people don't realize. I mean, they're quick to judge. People like even like the Brendan Allen fight. Your brother was 1 round away from winning that fucking fight.
Yeah,
there was
and Brendan Allen. Yeah, Brendan Allen is very, very close to the top. He was very close to the top 15 at that time. Yeah. And my brother came in, and if there was an extra round or an extra 30 seconds, my brother would beat that dude's ass.
Yep.
Yeah. But
and everyone knows that, dude.
Yeah. And that's just the type of kid that my brother is. And he's you literally have to hit that dude with like a baseball bat or something to get him to stop coming after you, because he will. Well, as soon as there's time left in that fight, he's going to be coming after you. He's going to be coming in there to try and finish you, and that's him, and that's his mentality, and it's worked out for him. And I love having him as a brother and a training partner, because I know that once he gets in that mindset, like his fight camp started yesterday or today, I dread his fight camps more than I dread my own fight camps, because I know, well, he's going to be coming at me, and I'm going to have to deal with him for the next 8 to 10 weeks. And it's going to suck. And it's absolutely going to suck. But it is what it is.
Because even when he was on with us, he was telling us he was like huge when he was younger.
Yeah.
So his body mass is probably enormous.
Yeah. Like he was, I think the heaviest he ever got was like 260, like 265. Like, but he was like a kid. He was like, he was like a 15, 16-year-old kid, like carrying all that weight around, and he was fighting heavyweights, and he was fighting like grown men at the time. So his body's just built different. He's just a different human being. Like you grab him and he's just built different. So
yeah. So Philly's making a splash in these fights, man. You got your brother Sean, And I kind of feel bad for Sean, but Sean won't feel bad for himself. He's just going to go out there and do his thing against Jake Matthews. And by the way, what a great fight!
For that fight too.
What a great fight that is.
I'm real excited. Real excited for that fight
because he was supposed to fight Bilal Muhammad.
Yep.
And that whatever happened, and then Bilal Muhammad just beats I forget who he just fought, but now he's fighting Leon Edwards, number 3 in the world. Yeah, Diego Lima. And now he's fighting Leon Edwards. And I'm like, damn, could that have been Sean? Top 3 guy in the world. But I think crazy. It's that whole weight class, and get back to your brother's weight class with Adesanya moving up to light heavy against Jan. That's a interesting style matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I hope that doesn't clog up the division, because my brother, he definitely wants to progress in the division, and you don't want like a funnel up at the top where no one's fighting because the champ's not there. The champ's not fighting anyone, so then no one's fighting anyone. So then it's kind of like stagnation. That's what you don't want. I know that's something that he doesn't want. So we'll hopefully, if Izzy wins or if he doesn't win, whatever, he goes back down to 185, cleans out the rest of the division until he gets to my brother, and then whatever he does, he wants to do, he can do. So
so he obviously, I'm gonna have him on soon before his fight. If he's not you're kind of scaring me with the way he gets during his fight camps.
He's definitely a little crazy, but
I don't like talking to people before their fights and stuff like that, because that's your number one focus, and surviving horrible plane experiences. Obviously,
Get worse, the worst.
So I have a couple more questions just about the current state. So right above you is Augusto Sakai. I guess I'm saying his name right, and Shamil. Abdurakhimov. I don't know if they have planned for them yet. I don't know if one of them has a fight lined up or anything like that. But even
I do not know.
Does you being number 10, are you like, all right, give me the 9 guy, give me the 8 guy? Anybody?
No. I mean, no. If I have to do it that way, I have to do it that way. That's just if the UFC decides that that's it, cool. Then I'll run through them. Doesn't matter. But I'll fight anyone as long as I'm climbing the ranks and going for. I don't want to. I'm a number 10 now. I don't want to fight 14. I don't want to fight 15. I want to fight 9 and below. So whoever's there, it doesn't matter to me. As long as they don't, I don't want to call anybody out because a lot of people have fights coming up. So Rosenstrike and Cyril are fighting this weekend, and then Stipe and Francis are fighting next month. And then I have to look at the cards to see who else is on there, but
so it looks like, they're probably going to make that Derek Lewis Overeem fight just because at the top of the division's a little crazy right now. So you're right. You probably should just wait back and just chill maybe a little bit and see what happens. It's kind of like less stressful for you too. Like, you know what I mean? Like for right now, you just got done beating up Alexi. You get to go to work again tonight, and then training and stuff like that. Are you already back in the gym?
Yeah, I was just there. Yeah. So I took yesterday off. So yesterday was good. Sunday was a travel day. Yesterday was family day. Took the family, just enjoyed my day with my wife and my son. And then today, back in the gym, and then going to work tonight. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's all I got for you. Thanks for coming on
Appreciate
again.
it.
Congratulations on the win. And then we'll set up that Cafe Carmela.
Let's go. I'm down, man. Let's go.
And then
let's go.
We'll go from there. And I'm looking forward to April 10th for Kyle. And,
same here. I can't wait.
We'll be seeing you on the camera too. So, you guys are like top sparring partners, just you and him.
Yeah,
that's all you're training against.
No. Like obviously we'll bring in other people. But number one training partner as far as like drilling and starting like the workouts off, it's always me and him. So everyone kind of knows at the gym, like when everyone's scrambling for partners or whatever, it's always like me and him going together. So but like once we get that first round out, then it's kind of like whoever wants to go. But we're definitely number one training partners.
I'm out on taking any classes at Martino's BJJ. Shout out to him too, man. He has 2 fucking killers right there. You probably got more. You probably got more in that gym, but
we do. We have plenty more, and then we got a couple of amateurs who are coming up who are super super scary. So I'm ready to see what they're going to be able to do.
Nice, dude. Well, again, thank you for coming on, brother.
Of course.
And, we'll be in touch over the weekend. All right.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good.
Be safe tonight. All right.
Always. Thank